I was in LA this last week, and I was given a talk, and I decided to open up my message in a complete different way. On Wednesday night, we had a dinner with one of our lawyers, entertainment lawyers, solid guy. We went to Crustaceans, great conversation. Anytime I go to a dinner with a lawyer, I have a time clock where I said at 45 minutes, I'm going to say, I got an emergency call. We got to go. It's been great seeing you. But this lawyer,
saves you some money that way.
2.5 hours later, we're having a blast. Funny guy, and he's a badass. And so we're sitting there having a conversation. I said, Pat, you won't believe it. You know, I just, my house in Toluca Lake, 2,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, right outside of Van Nuys, like Toluca Lake, Chandler. He says, $1.8 million. He says, I can't even believe it. He says, how can you live in who can afford a $1.8 million house, 3 bedrooms? So I go and I'm giving this speech at Santa Monica. I went to Santa Monica and I spoke at Montebello and at Granada Hills. Mm-hmm. So here's how I opened it up. I said, I got a question for you guys. I said, raise your hand if you have no plans of leaving California in the next 3 to 5 years. Okay, everybody's looking at me like, what? I said, let me ask this question one more time. Raise your hand if you have no plans of leaving the state you love in the next 3 to 5 years. Mm-hmm. 70% of hands go up. That's 70% is, to me, it's low. I thought it was going to be higher.
They have no plans.
No plans of leaving in the next 3 to 5 years.
And how many people in the room, by the way?
400 people. So
okay,
then I
so
said,
300 people are not leaving.
Dude, so 300 people are not leaving. So I said, raise your hand if for the first time in your life you're actually considering leaving the state of California. 30% will leave the room. I'm like, okay, interesting.
It's 100 people, though.
It's a lot of people. So I said the phone. I said, can I just speak to the people that are planning on staying here? Yes, absolutely. I said, if you're staying in California, what you're telling the world is you like being part of the state that has the highest gas prices, okay? You're okay with that. You're saying you're okay with being in the state that has the highest state taxes, period. You're okay with that. You're saying you don't mind being in a state with the highest all-in taxes. You're okay with that. Mm-hmm. You're saying you don't mind being in a state that has the highest homelessness in America. You're okay with that. I said, do you want me to continue? You don't mind having the most, by the way, this Friday they're announcing masks are coming back in LA, just so you know. I said, you don't mind.
Stop.
This is in LA. You can see that. You don't mind the fact that you're overly regulated, controlled. Everyone's telling you everything you need to be doing. You're okay with that, right? I said, do you still planning on staying here? Their hands went, yep, we're still planning on staying. I said, no problem. Then if you're planning on staying here, why don't we do a little bit of math together? They said, sure, let's do it. I said, a friend of mine I had dinner with 2 nights ago. He said he just sold his 2,000 square foot house, barely 2,000 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom for $1.8 million. I said, do we have a realtor here? Lady stands up. I said, can you help me do math here together? Yes. If I'm buying a $1.8 million house that's only 2,000 square feet barely and it's 3 bedroom, if I got a family of 4, I can barely live in this place. How much of a down payment do I need to put on this $1.8 million house? She says 10% minimum. I said, what's 10% of 1.8 million? 180. How many middle Americans in California have $180,000? Not a lot, but let's just say you got it. So you put $180,000 down. That 1.8, now you're financing what? 1.62. I said, can you tell me what's a mortgage payment on 1.62? She says, roughly $12,000, P&I, everything included. I said, perfect, fine. I said, this $12,000 I make, is it pre-tax money or after-tax money? She says that's after-tax money. I said, so what do I need to make pre-tax?
18 G's.
You need to, she says, around $20,000 to afford $12,000. I said, perfect. Yeah. I said, is everyone tracking? They're like, we're tracking. I said, perfect. What is the number typically you're only supposed to spend per month on your mortgage payment? Isn't it supposed to be a third? Yeah. It's supposed to be a third. Mm-hmm. So for a 2,000 square foot house that's only 3 bedroom, if you need to make 20 grand pre-tax money, what do you need to make to be able to afford a third of it going to mortgage payment? They said $60,000. I said, what's that times 12? 720. I said, how many of you guys are going to make 720 in California the next 3 to 5 years? I said, now let me ask you this. How many are still planning on staying in the state of California? You see what happened. I said, how many of you, just based on that, are open to the idea of leaving the state in the next 3 to 5 years? You know what happened?
What happened?
Of the 70%, half of them raised their hands and they said that's just not sustainable.
Mm-hmm. Huh.
I said, then let me speak to the other guys that are planning on staying here. How the hell are you going to get to 720? Tell me, I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious. I really want to know.
The numbers just don't make sense.
I mean, what do you...
Big boy.
The median income in this country is 50 grand. And you're talking about making 700 grand.
Here's what's crazy.
The gap is ridiculous.
And on top of that, add all of this inflation, add all of this stuff that's
gas
going on.
Prices.
How are you going to be ready for this?
I don't understand how people in California survive.
Well, I mean, why are you guys looking at me? By the way, the weather's great.
Yeah.
And the Rams just won the Super Bowl.
Even on top of that, too, it just the pressure that the federal government did with the lockdowns in state, specifically in California. I mean, they just ruined the middle class, and then the inflation right after. I mean, it's the whole like who gets to judge an essential business, you know? And then you look at states like this great state of Florida and DeSantis, who I hope is president one day, and Texas, like they incentivize small businesses, and they, you know, and that's what we should be doing rather than letting these, you know, conglomerate huge corporations just swallow up the small man. Like, it sucks.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.